Hey, it's Aaron, and today I want to talk to automotive enthusiasts, and I want to explain to you why you are not the target market for automakers. This is a fun subject. It wasn't really a question that was asked to me, but I'm going to treat it as one. It came up. I did a Substack article on this, and I'll link that down below, but it came up when I did a couple of articles on the new Toyota 4Runner and immediately had 4Runner enthusiasts show up and start just tearing this thing apart, belittling the thing. They hate it. The problem is that every time a new vehicle model comes out, all the enthusiasts for that model will generally show up to talk about how crap it is. Because for enthusiasts, they always have a generation that they love of whatever the vehicle is. And it's never the current one. It's always a previous generation of before times, right? So I want to talk about that. Now, the biggest reason that automakers really do not care about enthusiasts is because they're not selling to them. Think about it. An automaker is in the business of making and selling new cars. An enthusiast buys old cars. So financially, the two never actually meet. So there's really no reason for an automaker to cater to an enthusiast. There are occasional exceptions to this. They are usually enthusiast cars, but they're very low volume cars. They are made to get those enthusiasts to want that car and then go, oh, I also need a family SUV, and maybe buy that automaker's SUV. They're not made very often, and they're not the main focus of the automaker. So using the 4Runner example, let's talk about that. The new 4Runner is completely different, 6th generation, brand new, blah, blah, blah. Enthusiasts hate it. Most enthusiasts are into the first 4 generations, and there are a handful that are into the previous generation, the 5th. So those enthusiasts hate on this new one. Toyota doesn't actually care about that because Toyota doesn't need to. That's not who's going to buy it anyway. Enthusiasts are going to buy an old one and do a bunch of mods to it and use it, right? Toyota's already sold that vehicle in the past. They're not going to make any money from that. But the new one is a volume seller. It sells in very large numbers. They're aiming for the broad market, the general market, the general buyers out there. And they will offer a bunch of stuff, like, of course, it has 2 different major off-road models. It has some smaller, less capable off-road models. And then it has the limited model and I think that's the only one, but it has the limited model for people that just want a comfortable 4Runner, and then it has an SR5 for people that just want a cheap one. And it's pretty much always been along that similar vein for the last couple of generations. And that's a volume aim. They're aiming for a large audience, and that audience is not enthusiasts. Now, there are some exceptions to this rule that I mentioned, and then sometimes enthusiasts really turn things around. But that is such a rare occurrence. The automakers very rarely worry about that. You think about Nissan, the Z car is definitely an enthusiast car. It is made for enthusiasts. It gets enthusiasts interested. It was marketed to them. It's a low volume seller. But the Nissan Rogue, it has enthusiasts. It's amazing, but it does. The Sentra has enthusiasts. Surprise, surprise. If you Google it, every car model made has an enthusiast group somewhere. But Nissan doesn't think about those customers that are enthusiasts because that's not important to them. These are mass market vehicles. Their aim is to appeal to a very broad group of people that are looking for a vehicle in that size or capability category. So most of the time, automakers aren't too concerned about what enthusiasts think about their vehicles. And that's something that enthusiasts really need to understand. If you're not buying a new vehicle, automakers have no reason to care about you. And most enthusiasts, for whatever that vehicle is that they're enthused about, they're not buying a new version of it. They're buying old ones. It's the way it is. Anyway, I just kind of wanted to kind of talk that out, I guess, a little bit. I'll link to the article, my Substack on this one down below. And yeah, there you go. So if you have a question, this wasn't a question, but if you have a question, you can hit me up down below, do the comments, whatever. If you join my members area, you get priority. Your question gets answered first. In fact, I've got a couple of those to do today. Yeah, you can find me on the interwebs all over the place. I'm on like Facebook and Twitter and whatever. Just tag or DM so I see your question, and I'll do my best to answer it. All right, this has been Aaron. Talk to you again soon.